So after 4 months of going carnivore and eating nothing but animal-based products, what does my blood work look like? Shall we? Okay, so I don't need the glasses to read it. I got it on my tablet here, so I'll read it directly from there. Hi, my name is Nate. I started carnivore back on December 9th of 2024. I've just completed week 18, 4 months, and I got my blood work. I'm about to share those results with you. I also wanted to share my weight results with you because I do like pretty much a week by week video. So if you're just finding my channel, please hit that subscribe, hit that like for me. I'm excellent at responding to comments. But I've been trying to put a video out on Sundays every week. I also do other videos like Intex pools, which that'll be coming up really soon. But this video is carnivore specific. I'm going to share my blood work. I'm going to share my weight with you, and let's get started. So week 18 weight loss results, I have dropped 3 more pounds. So it was a really good week for me. I kind of been averaging 1 to 2 pounds, but 3 pounds in 1 week. I'm pretty excited about that. So on December 9th, I started at 263 pounds. As of last Monday, I am currently 216. It really blows my mind to say that number because that's like high school weight. Really, I think I graduated in the mid 220s. So I'm at a number that is just uncharted territory for me. And it's funny, I tell my wife all the time, when I was 300 plus pounds, which I didn't lose all that on carnivore, but when I was 300 plus pounds, in my head, I always had that number like, what is my goal weight? What's my goal? 220 was always that number. And now that I've passed it, I have to set a new goal for me. And I'm thinking it's going to be probably around 190, 185, but we'll see if I get there. So let's go over the blood work. I want to give you a little bit of family history on both sides, parents on both sides. There is heart disease, there is diabetes. My father passed away about 5 years ago. He died of a heart attack, but he also was in kidney failure. He had a transplant done 10 years ago. He was on dialysis. So my kidney function numbers, cardiovascular, all that is very important to me. So this was a really big day for me to get my numbers and switching to a carnivore diet. Before my diet was sugar, 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 carbs, soda, bread, chips, you name it. And I haven't touched a thing since December 9th and December 8th. Let me take that back. So I haven't had a potato chip. I haven't had a can of soda, a piece of candy, nothing. I have gone this far without cheating. I know that's very difficult for a lot of people to do, but 0 cheat days, and I really don't plan on having one. I don't really have the craving. I've been on it long enough. I'm doing good enough. I don't really have that craving now. So now that you know a little bit of the family history, my kidney numbers are probably the most important to me when I see them on paper, and I kind of go to those first, but I'm going to share a little bit of everything. So I'm going to look down and up a couple times here because I have all the information saved on my tablet. So let's just start with my basic blood count. I think they call it a CBC with differential. I'm not really sure what all that means, but when I talked to my doctor Friday, he basically said your blood counts and everything is in the green. LabCorp sends me a detailed list, and if your numbers are normal, everything will be in the green. If anything's low, it'll kind of be in the yellow. If it's high, it'll be in the red. So every bit of my CBC information was all dead center in the green. My fasting glucose was 84. 4 years ago, the only blood work I have to compare is 4 years ago, and I was probably 270, 280, right around there 4 years ago. My glucose was 84. My old glucose that I took 4 years ago was a 92. So there's a pretty good improvement right there. Let's get to the kidneys. So my BUN number was 17, dead center in the green. My old BUN number is blood urea nitrogen number. Used to be 18, not much of a big difference there. My creatinine, which I thought my doctor might kind of flag because I was low. I was in the yellow. Now, creatinine, if your kidneys are not doing their job, you will have an elevated creatinine level. My level is low. And I kind of researched what is a low number. And one of the biggest things it says is loss of muscle mass. Now, I'm 50. I definitely feel like I've lost muscle mass over the years. I've also lost almost 50 pounds now. And that will, I kind of feel like that's going to take some muscle with it also. I could be wrong, but my doctor was not concerned with my creatinine level. It was a 0.58, and normal is from like 0.6 up. And I can't remember the high number, but I was on the low end, but he was not concerned with that number at all, which is huge given the kidney history in the family. And another pretty important kidney number is the EGFE, was a 119, dead center, also in the green for normal. So my sodium number, and that's another weird one. You think you're taking in so much more salt. My sodium number was perfectly normal, 139. My potassium is a 4.4, normal. My chloride is a 101, normal. Another pretty important number to me is liver function. So there's two that I see on my chart. There's an AST and an ALT. Both normal ranges for that are 0 to 40. Now, 4 years ago when I took this test, my AST was a 74 and my ALT was a 79, both very elevated. My latest numbers as of a few days ago, AST is a 28 and my ALT is a 21. The doctor basically said that's because of the sugar that you're not taking in anymore. Let's talk about the really big one that everybody loves to talk about when you're eating carnivore, cholesterol. So I love my doctor dearly. He's a really good friend of mine. I love to visit with him. And you have that expectation going into a blood work meeting like that. And he's, what's he going to say? What's he going to think? And it kind of went exactly how I thought. I knew he would have questions on my cholesterol, and I knew he'd be really happy with all my other numbers because I did get into my labs before meeting with him. So I was able to see everything before we got into the room. So my total cholesterol was a 271. My triglycerides were a 59. My HDL 51, and my LDL 211. Now, he was concerned. He says, your total cholesterol is just a little bit too high for me. And I explained to him, I said, Doc, I've done my research. And he just kind of smiled. And I said, I follow a lot of doctors like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Baker, and they put out some really good cholesterol information videos. And I've learned a lot about the ratio between your triglycerides and your HDL. And you divide your triglyceride number by your HDL and you get a ratio. And from all of those videos that I've gathered, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, but from the information I've gathered from a lot of those videos, you really would love to see a number under like a ratio of 1.5. My ratio is a 1.1, which following those doctors is excellent. That tells me I'm pretty much cardiovascular, I'm heart healthy. And if you're heart healthy, that ratio is going to look really good no matter what your LDL looks like. Again, I'm not a professional, but I've done a lot of research on this, and a lot of those doctors seem to agree on that. So I basically told him, I said, I'm good with my cholesterol number the way it is. He does want me to do a test, and I can't remember the name of the test, but he wants to set up a CAT scan where they're going to go in there and they're going to look at my arteries. And it's going to say, is there any buildup in my arteries? And I guarantee you the answer is going to be no. But I told him, let's do the test. I'd love to have more results. And I'd be happy to show him the test results, praying that they're clear and say, look, this is why I'm not worried about my cholesterol. The last really important number to me is my A1C. Again, diabetes runs in my family on both sides, my mom and my dad. So that number is really important to me. At one time, I was 340 pounds, and I'm now 216. So I was absolutely thrilled to have an A1C of 5.2. Now that was one test that they did not call for 4 years ago. So I didn't have a before result. But looking back, I kind of remember that my A1C was around a 5.6. So that's a pretty good drop to 5.2. And I bet you by next blood work, it's going to be even lower. That's a wrap on another video. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I can't tell you what it means to me to have you guys comment week after week, thanking me for putting these videos out. I thank you for watching them. You guys inspire me just as much as you tell me I'm inspiring you, probably more. I feel like you guys are doing more for me than I'm doing for you. All I'm doing is sharing my personal results. I'll never claim to be a professional on carnivore. I'm just like to share my experience, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. Again, if you have any questions, if you have a particular video you want me to talk about in a certain subject, I'd be happy to. I'm thinking about next week, I might kind of do like what a week looks like. What am I eating from breakfast to dinner each day? I don't know if I'll do that next week, but that's coming up. So I'm going to work on that. Those of you who love my pool videos, I got some pool videos getting started here in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for watching. It's a blessing to get to do this every week and to engage with you guys. So thank you for watching. Have a blessed evening and have a happy Easter.